Alright, I'm going to show you how to make a quick stakeout list here. This is the same job I was working in before. Zoom out. So we got down here in our layers manager, we got all our line work. We got some control points on. We got some manholes, storm, stakeout. That's actually a separate file for this MH2, 8E10. All these storm points that we got on here, we'll just isolate them so you can see them better. Go down to our DXF. We'll turn everything off and we'll turn on our storm and we'll green check that. So we're just looking at our storm points here. So that's actually in the Farragut stake storm.csv. If I turn that off, all those storm points they go away. You can still see the control, but anyhow, so that's an imported reference file. They've been comped up in Carlson for invert out elevations for easy stakeout in the field. What I want to show you is how to make a quick stakeout list of them. So we'll just dive into it here. So if we go into our stakeout list here, you have the option to look at a points list for everything or just specific items or specific import files, such as this stake storm file that I brought. So if we turn off all of these, it's only going to show me a list of the points that are in that file and that are actually on the screen as well. If I got them off on the layers manager, they will not show up. There they are. If we want to put those in a quick stakeout list, we can go to Tools, Stakeout List. We can name this. We can say Stake Storm, and we'll green check it. 7 points are added. Hit OK. If you want to go right to staking one, you can actually pick one right here on the edge and it'll start staking it. MH1, it'll take you to it, start giving all your info to stake it out. If you go to the home page, you see you got a stakeout list manager here. So you can tap on that. It says 0% stake storm. That's because we haven't staked any of these points out yet. If you're trying to keep track of what's been done or what hasn't been done, this is only a handful of points. But if you got a lot of things that you're staking out, these lists can help out. So we got 0% done right now. There's all our points with the descriptions. If we want to delete some, we can. All these are unstaked right now, so you'll see they got gray dots by them. If we go back into stakeout and we stake out manhole 1, and we'll just walk over here to it. I'm under a tree here, of course. Doesn't matter if we're on it or not. If we hit measure, we'll just say stored anyway. Points outside northern easing tolerance. Do you want to accept it? We'll say yes. So that point's been staked out. Now if you go back to the home menu and you say stakeout list, you'll see it's got 14% done. If you hit your sidebar there, you'll see manhole 1 is staked out. So if you want to keep staking them, they'll pop up on here. It'll show your percentage complete. It's a good tool to use to kind of see where you are and what all's been done. We'll just hit check. Now if you go back into the stakeout screen here, so that point's been staked out. It's not on the money, of course, because I'm kind of in a crappy position out here and not really using all the everything as wisely as I could if I was really doing this. But so if we go into our manager down here and we go down here to our bottom in our default, you'll see this no codes. That's where those points are stored there. If I turn that off, that point goes away. If I turn it back on, it's there. Now if you want to look at the actual data for this point, you can go into your list here, and I'm going to turn off. Now remember, that point's been actually stored, so I've made that point in this file. I don't really want to look at a list of every single point on my DXF file because there's a zillion of them. As I showed you on one of the other videos, there's a node at every vertex on all the lines on all the layers, so I'm definitely going to turn that off. I don't want all my points for my terrain model. Those are basically all your points for your 3D tri-face mesh. I don't want to look at the control or the new control points. All I want to see is default. Now when I check that, there's my point. Stakeout point, manhole 1, and the underscore 1 for the first time I staked it out. If I stake it out again, it'll have an underscore 2. It'll show the same things here. Now you can look over here. CQ position, it's terrible because I'm stuck underneath a tree, and that'd actually be better if I sat there for a minute. But anyhow, cut fill, stakeout. So that's going to be your horizontal position and your vertical data. So you can stake these points out, go back through your stakeout list, look at these, and kind of look at the quality. You can export this info out into a specific report as well. So if you staked out this whole list and you wanted to kind of do like a QA QC thing and show everybody that you've done your work and done your due diligence to do everything properly in the field, you can do that. Export it out into a report. It'll show that you're within, you know, 100 or 2 and what your cut fill values are. Say if you're shooting grays on top of a offset stake or whatever. So that's a handy tool to use. Let's see if we go back out into, like say if you add one of these files on here, it's going to show you all your stakeout points and your manhole 1. It also shows you that it's been staked out right there. If you wanted to stake out another one, you can just pick it right here from the list. So if you want to say 88, you tap it, it takes you to 88. Again, what I was showing you in the stakeout list the other day. Now there's a, you know, if you got a bunch of them, these are pretty easy to tap. But if you want to choose them basically automatic, so you can go into auto point selection. You can turn it on, and you can just say next from list, and you can say check. So I'm not over there by 88, I'm across the site, but if I actually was and I wanted to record this point, I could say measure and just store it anyway till it's not initialized. We know it's outside of our tolerance. You can continue staking it or you can accept it. We're just going to accept it, and you'll see that this thing goes ahead and throws me up there to AD10. That's because it's the next one on the list. Go back out, stakeout list, 28% complete. Again, the values ain't great because I'm not really moving around and really staking them, but that you can build lists for all these. If you're doing, I showed you in the stakeout where you can go into toolbox, divide and offset. If you're doing offset for your curb, you can make a list for all your curb stakeout, and you can just check these off as you go. Another kind of tool here, if you want to look at it all on the same stakeout screen, you can go in here and you can say I, and you can say split screen. We'll just do half and half here. So I got plan view, but if I hit this I and I do stakeout list, it'll show me my list over here, and I can go ahead and stake out my points. We'll just say AD10 or AD10. How about that? There you go. I'm going to pick another one. So you can go through these as you see fit. So you can customize a lot of things on this icon screen to suit your needs and make things kind of flow better in the field. If you want to get back out of this, we're going to hit our I. We're going to turn our stakeout list off, I, and we're going to turn our hit our split screen. We're going to go back to single view. Now we're back in plan view. Something else I did not go into in the other video on this stakeout, I don't think, but this I right here, map view options. If you want, there's stuff buried everywhere in here, but you can show your line information, stakeout list points only, fade staked points, a lot of customization again. But what I was going to say is you can hit your I, go into orientation. I got it on north, northeast, southwest. So if I hit movement, some people like this, some don't. If you're staking something out, it's kind of like a car GPS. The screen will rotate with you. So if I really wanted to go to AD10, you can see as I kind of start walking around to the left, also my green arrow, as I start walking, I guess, a long line, if you will, you can see this thing, the screen rotates, and my arrow will show me which way to go. If I start walking over here to the left, it's going to aim me back to the right with that blue arrow. Same thing if I go to the right, it's going to aim me back to the left over here. So of course you got all your stakeout data there, your distance, your cut fill to that point. So there's again, said it a few times, but there's a lot of customization you can do in here. The info bar, I'll make a separate video for that, but you can, that was just kind of one for the stakeout list. Just remember, if you're kind of trying to plan the next thing you're doing, your map screen is not really facing north, so you can tap that, get squared back up. As soon as you start moving, it's going to start rotating with you. But anyhow, that's just a quick video on stakeout list. Hope that helps you out. Thank you.